A warm welcome to everyone once again to our Real Insight YouTube channel. Today, we're discussing an incredibly terrifying serial killer. The Korean series Mouse is the best series ever made about such a character. It's a 20-episode series, and so far, I have already brought you 12 episodes of this series. For those who haven't seen the previous episodes, I have placed a card for the Mouse playlist above. Also, I will put the links for the past episodes in the description below. Please make sure to watch those videos before you come to watch the 12th episode, which I am about to explain. At the end of the last episode, you saw that Baaram had killed Kandoksu. However, from Kandoksu's boarding house, Kumuchi found another piece of evidence, which was another knife used to kill Kandoksu. Kumuchi discovered that this knife contained another person's DNA in addition to Kandoksu's. You can find the answer to whose DNA it could be and many other things through today's episode. Now let's go and see what happened in the 13th episode of this amazing series. Today's episode begins by showing an incident from the past about Son Yuhan's mother Kim when she was pregnant. As a pregnant Kim is walking alone down a road, someone comes and tries to kill her. At this moment, Kim tells the person trying to kill her to just go ahead and kill her because Kim already knows that the child she is about to give birth to is a psychopath, so Kim wants to die along with her child, the person who came to kill. Kim is wearing a military uniform, however, before this man can kill Kim, someone else arrives, attacks him, and saves Kim. You will find the answers to who came to kill Kim and who saved her as you continue watching the series. Now we return to the present. Kumuchi tells Baaram that another DNA sample was found on the knife used to kill Kandoksu and tells Baaram exactly whose DNA it is. The DNA found on that knife belongs to a prison inmate. This was actually done by Baaram himself. Everything was done according to Baaram's own plan. You will understand the reason Baaram did all this by the end of today's episode. After this, we are shown Choi going to meet Bong Yi. Bong Yi is helpless now, so Choi tells her that if she wants, she can come and work with him on his team at the TV channel. Bong Yi is initially shocked to hear this, but she later calls Choi and tells him that she would like to join his team and work at the TV channel. You might remember from the previous episode that Yuna, the child who was abducted by Kandoksu, knew that it was Baaram who saved her. After that, Baaram followed Yuna to kill her before she could tell anyone, but you don't know what happened after that. Actually, Baaram did not kill Yuna at that time for a reason. Yuna had thanked Baaram for saving her life. Not only that, Yuna hugged Baaram and said that she wouldn't even tell the secret to Bong Yi or even her mother, and that she would keep the secret in her heart forever. That is why even though Baaram tried to kill Yuna, he didn't because of what she said. Now, another inmate's DNA has been found on the knife used to kill Kandoksu, and that inmate's name is Jayshik. Jayshik and Kandoksu had been in the same prison, so for a well, which is the connection between them. In the meantime, Kumuchi finds another piece of evidence. You'll remember that it was Choi who went to save Bong Yi, and there was a dashcam in the vehicle Choi was driving. While checking the video from that dashcam, Kumuchi finds an important clue. You, the listener, knows that it was Baaram who killed Kandoksu. Baaram went there in his car. As he was speeding to the location, a man on the side of the road with his bike toppled over. Kumuchi realizes by watching the video from Koi's dashcam that the bike that fell over also has a dashcam. Kumuchi then calls Baaram to ask about that bike's dashcam. Kumuchi doesn't give Baaram the exact details, but Baaram gets scared, wondering why Kumuchi is suddenly asking about a dashcam, so Baaram then starts looking for that dashcam. Kumuchi goes to find the owner of the bike. After he goes there, Baaram also goes there to see where Kumuchi is going. However, before Kumuchi gets there, Choi has already gone there and secretly removed the bike's dashcam. The reason is that Kumuchi was checking Koi's dashcam and Choi had come to see what he was looking at. When Choi played the video, it started from where Kumuchi had stopped it. Kumuchi had paused the video, zoomed in on the bike's dashcam, so Choi went and secretly removed that dashcam before Kumuchi could. Now, We are shown Choi checking the video from that dashcam, then Choi finds out that Baaram was at the place where Kandoksu was killed. After that, we see Choi and Bong Yi going together to ask the prisoner named Jayshik some questions to conduct an interview. Well, there Bong Yi sees a prisoner with a very innocent look whose name is Kishu. Kishu is a horrific serial killer who murdered 10 people in the Suseong area years ago, but looking at Kishu's face, you wouldn't even think he's a serial killer. The other special thing is that Kishu is someone who cannot hear or speak. Bong Yi stares at the man, and as she is about to leave, she falls down. As Bong Yi falls, this man, Kishu, tries to come and help her, but the officers there don't let him. Because Bong Yi fell, this man Kishu's eyes have filled with tears, which means Kishu is a very sensitive person, and Bong Yi sees this too. Anyway, without thinking about it again, Bong Yi goes with Choi to ask the prisoner named Jayshik some questions. Before that interview begins, Kmuchi and Baaram also arrive to question this prisoner Jayshik. Before meeting the prisoner Jayshik, Kmuchi and Baaram go to the office there where on the wall there is a photo of Jayshik. Kmuchi puts that photo in his pocket for a big reason, which you will understand in a moment. Kmuchi disrupts the interview and goes to ask Jayshik about something in the photo where Jayshik is wearing clothes with a strange patch on them. You'll remember that at the place where the knife that killed Kandoksu was found, Kandoksu's uniform was also found, and Kmuchi remembers that it also had the same kind of patch. Because of that, Kmuchi comes and asks Jayshik, "Did you put a patch like this on Kandoksu's clothes too?" This man says, "Yes, I put a similar patch on Kandoksu's clothes too, but they can't find out anything else beyond." After that, we see Bong Yi, who has returned from the interview and is now doing her own research on the prisoner named Kishu. Bong Yi finds out a lot about Kishu, a brutal serial killer who murdered 10 people in the Suseong area years ago. But it was proven in court that a confession was forcibly taken from Kishu. However, the case was not reopened because to reopen a case, you need to find new evidence. Since no new evidence was found, the case was not discussed again, and Kishu has been in prison since the day he was found guilty. Bong Yi believes that this Kishu is an innocent person and that he definitely cannot be a serial killer like this. Now Bong Yi is working at the TV channel with Choi. You'll remember that Choi does a separate program on this TV channel called Sherlock Hongru, which talks about crimes like this. At this time, Bong Yi tells her team members, "Shall we talk a little about this Kishu on our program?" But the team members don't agree because this is a case that was closed years ago. That's why Bong Yi needs to find evidence that can reopen the case, so Bong Yi then goes to meet Baaram. You'll remember that Baaram works in the evidence management department. After going there and reading everything related to the Suseong serial killer, Bong Yi discovers an important point, that is 2 years before the Suseong serial murder case began, a pregnant woman had to face a similar incident. As I said at the beginning of today's episode, that pregnant woman was none other than Kim. When Kim was pregnant, someone came and tried to attack her. That's what Bong Yi has discovered, but Bong Yi doesn't actually know who that pregnant woman is. There is a connection between the man who tried to kill Kim and these Suseong serial murders. The reason is, you'll remember when it was shown the person who came to kill Kim took out a knife and was eating an apple, and Bong Yi has learned through this evidence that pieces of apple were found inside the stomachs of some of the 10 people who were killed in this Suseong area. Because of this, Bong Yi thinks there is a connection between these two cases, but the police have not properly investigated the statement that came from this pregnant woman, or Kim. That is why Bong Yi asks for help to find this pregnant woman. Baaram finds all the details for Bong Yi. Bong Yi then goes to meet Kim, who is now at her home alone. Bong Yi goes and asks Kim for details about the person who came to kill her years ago when she was pregnant. At this moment, Kim begins to tell the story from the beginning. Kim was walking alone on a road late at night when this man came and tried to kill her. Not only that, the man was wearing a military uniform at the time. At that moment, Kim had told the man, "Please just kill me." Kim was very sad at that time anyway, but this man had said, "You're one crazy woman." From that you might understand that the man heard what Kim said, not only that the man replied to Kim saying "you're one crazy woman." That means the man could not only hear but also speak. However, Kishu is someone who can neither hear nor speak. Bong Yi realizes that Kishu has been imprisoned for a crime he did not commit. In addition to this, Bong Yi gathers a lot of other small pieces of evidence to present to her program's team. This time the team members agree, but the director of the team does not. The reason is that this case was closed years ago, and he believes people are not interested in things like this. They are interested in what's trending. Because of this, Bong Yi gets very frustrated. She then tells Baaram about this. Actually, Baaram also wants Bong Yi to do this program. You will understand the reason for this in a little while. Therefore, Baaram finds a point of leverage the death. And new prisoner Kishu has a daughter named Julie, and Julie is about to marry none other than Detective Shin, who you'll remember is on Baaram's team. As I mentioned in a previous episode, Detective Shin is not just anyone, he is the son of the president of Korea. The president is currently planning to run as a candidate in an upcoming election. Baaram knows that anything concerning a presidential candidate's family will definitely become a trending topic. Baaram then goes and tells the media that the president's son is about to marry the daughter of Kishu, the man convicted in the Suseong serial murder case. As soon as he says this, the news begins to spread like wildfire. The Suseong serial murders start to appear on TV news again. Because of this, the program's director also agrees to do a program about the case. After that, Choi starts the program. In the program, Choi begins by presenting the evidence he has. The first piece of evidence is Kim's statement. Kim said that the person who tried to kill her not only heard what she said, but could also speak, but Kishu is someone who can neither speak nor hear. That is the first piece of evidence. Not only that, pieces of apple cut into a crescent moon shape were found inside the stomachs of some of the people murdered in the Suseong area. You'll remember that the person who came to kill Kim was also cutting an apple into that same shape. At the time, that is the second piece of evidence Choi presents. There is a reason why Kishu was caught for this. That reason is that every murder incident in the Suseong area happened in the vicinity of where Kishu lived. In addition to that, the police found strands of Kishu's hair at the murder scenes. That's why the police directly arrested Kishu. Not only that, in the program, Choi says that the element cadmium was found in the bodies of some of the people who were murdered in the Suseong area. Kumuchi is also watching this program, and he starts to put everything together. After that, Kumuchi begins to investigate what really happened here. Kumuchi discovers that Kishu worked in a denim factory and that the element cadmium is used when making denim. Kumuchi then goes to this factory and questions someone there about this. That's when Kumuchi learns that just like Kishu, a person named Jayshik also worked at this factory. Not only that, Kumuchi finds out that Jayshik was also a suspect in the Suseong serial murder case. However, since there was no evidence, Jayshik was cleared because Kishu's hair was found at the murder scene. The police arrested him directly after that. Kumuchi starts investigating Jayshik. Jayshik was actually imprisoned for killing a person who tried to assault his daughter. When questioning the daughter, Kumuchi learns that the girl is not actually Jayshik's daughter, but his stepdaughter from his second marriage. It was Jayshik himself who tried to assault the girl. Jayshik went to prison for killing the person who came there and tried to save the girl. However, Jayshik told the police the opposite story. He told them that a man had come to assault his daughter and that he had killed that man himself. It is at this moment that Kumuchi starts to suspect Jayshik directly. Kumuchi then calls the police, but Jayshik has already been released from prison as his sentence is over. After that, Kumuchi finds out where Jayshik went and starts following. At this time, another incident occurs. You'll remember that Baaram didn't give Kandoksu's DNA directly to Professor. He gave Kandoksu's DNA brush along with several other brushes containing DNA. However, at this time, Professor Lee has discovered something else. While examining the brush containing Kandoksu's DNA, the professor found out that the DNA belonged to a psychopath, but the professor has now discovered that another brush Baaram gave also contains psychopath genes. The professor then tells Baaram about it. Baaram then tries to remember where he got that brush from. Can you guess where Baaram got that brush? Baaram had taken it from Kumuchi's place. Because of this, Baaram wonders if Kumuchi is also a psychopath. However, Baaram doesn't believe this at first. He goes and investigates it, but the brush is not actually Kumuchi's. Kumuchi had kept that brush as a piece of evidence. That evidence belongs to none other than the man named Jayshik. After that, Baaram starts to understand that this Jayshik is a psychopath. Baaram then begins to investigate this man Jayshik. As he investigates, Baaram starts to realize that it was actually Jayshik who killed everyone in the Suseong area, not Kishu. In addition to this, Baaram takes a sample of Kishu's DNA, gives it to Professor Lee, and has it tested. Professor Lee finds out that Kishu is a normal person. Now Jayshik has been released from prison, so just like Kumuchi, Baaram also starts following Jayshik with the intention of killing him. In the meantime, someone sends video evidence to a journalist. This video evidence is none other than the dashcam footage from the bike that Choi was investigating. You'll remember that Baaram was in that video. That is the video that someone has sent to this journalist. We have no way of knowing yet who actually sent it. Let's see what happens next. As soon as he gets this video, the man doesn't call the police. He directly calls Choi. He tells Choi that he has found evidence regarding Kandoksu's death. Choi is currently in the middle of his program. He then tells Bong Yi to go and meet this man at 7 in the evening and get the evidence. After that, we are shown this journalist on his way with the evidence getting into an accident. After the accident, someone else comes, attacks the man, and takes the laptop from his bag. At this moment, we see once again that the person who comes to steal the laptop containing the video evidence is none other than the person with the US code tattooed on their arm. We'll see what we learn about that in the future. However, Bong Yi is also very busy at this time, as only after 7 that she remembers what Choi told her. She then calls the journalist, but the phone is answered by the hospital. The hospital informs her that the owner of this phone has had an accident and is at the hospital. Bong Yi then goes to the hospital. When she gets there, the journalist is already in a ward. Bong Yi sees his bag. From that bag, Bong Yi finds a pen. Upon checking that pen, Bong Yi finds out for certain that Baaram was also at the place where Kandoksu was killed that day. After that, Bong Yi realizes that it must have been Baaram who killed Kandoksu. In the meantime, we are shown Kishu, mute man, who is in prison for a crime he didn't commit, now trying to commit suicide. The reason is that even his own daughter won't look at him now because everyone thinks Kishu is the serial killer from the Suseong area. At the end of today's episode, we see Baaram finding Jayshik. First, Baaram starts torturing Jayshik severely to kill him, but you'll remember that Kumuchi is also coming to find Jayshik. Today's episode ends with Kumuchi arriving at the place where Baaram is in the middle of killing Jayshik. In the next episode, you will be able to see for sure whether Kumuchi will catch Baaram while he is killing Jayshik. So how was today's episode? Be sure to leave a comment below. You still haven't subscribed to our Real Insight channel, click the button below to subscribe now, and don't forget to click the bell icon next to it. We'll meet again soon with the next episode.